Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of HBO Max's new original series, It. Welcome to Derry, episode 1, which premiered on HBO Max and HBO proper Sunday, October the 26th. This brand new horror series is based on a Stephen King 1986 novel, It, which we've seen a miniseries from and two theatrical films from just as recent as 2017 and 2019. This comes from the director of those two recent films, Andy Muschietti, who directs this first episode of the show, which serves as a prequel to those to the novel and those films, and it's set in 1962 as a couple with their son move to Derry, Maine, just as a young boy disappears. With their arrival, very bad things begin to happen in the town. It was like number one on my TV show list throughout the year. I was super excited when they first announced this a couple of years ago, that they were going to make a It TV show. I'm like, yeah, give me that. More Pennywise the clown, please. And I really wanted to dive in to the lore or history of Derry. You know, I wanted to see how Pennywise became Pennywise, how the town of Derry is so cursed, and just get a history of this cursed town, if you will. And this isn't particularly that, at least not judging by the first episode. Things are already crazy in Derry where we pick up in this first episode, but nonetheless, I'm still excited for it. I'm gonna just right off the bat, I super enjoyed this first episode. This first episode really set the tone going forward. I don't know how it's going to end up. I don't know when the ball is going to drop, but just judging off this first episode, we're in for a real, real good ride here. This is going to be horror personified. Andy Muschietti, who I love his films. I love the two It films. It Chapter 2 wasn't the greatest, but there were some moments in that film that I did enjoy. It just didn't really live up to that first film in 2017, and I still enjoyed it nonetheless. The Flash aside, which you can make some arguments that there were pieces of that film that were enjoyable, but the film overall not so much. And I did like Mama. I think that was it, Mama, the film that he horror film he directed. But I do enjoy his works, so him diving back in this world. Plus, he is still attached, even though it hasn't been formally announced, but he's still attached to direct Batman Brave and the Bold. We'll see how that go. But as far as the here and now, Welcome to Derry, horror in his wheelhouse. He knocked this episode out the park. I was all in from the opening scene to the final credits. I was on the edge of my seat, spooked out and everything else. I didn't expect as much gore, because it's TV. I know it's HBO, and HBO does not skip on the gore if you watch Game of Thrones or anything else that HBO puts out. But I still was kind of caught off guard with the level that this show went to, especially in the opening scene. The opening scene of this show was horrifying to me because I thought back. I thought back to when my wife gave birth to my first daughter, well, actually, in both experiences, I saw more than I was supposed to see, and it scarred me for life. And the opening scene was similar to what I saw with the birth of my two daughters. It I guess I had PTSD. I was like, oh my God. But in this case, it was more brutal and horrifying and disgusting than I remembered even seeing it in live action with my with my girls. But this was completely unexpected. I mean, to really go in. I mean, you saw the actual birth of this mutant baby that came out. I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? What am I watching? What is this? Is this it? Is this Steve? I don't know what's happening. I was just blown away by the level of gore there, but it doesn't deter me from the show. I was still in it. I was like, what? My eyes were fixed on it. But this is a show that it has set up. Going by this first episode, we're only going by the first episode because that's all I saw. You don't know what's going to happen throughout this season. You honestly don't know, because we're set up just like the 2017 film. You're set up with a group of losers. That's what that group was called in the books and everything else. These kids, and that's what made the first film so exciting. The kids in that movie, and we have a set of kids here, and we're pretty much going on that same journey that the kids in the 2017 film went through. And so I'm like, okay, we're just gonna get the 1962 version of that. All right, that's fine. I'm cool with it. Let's see if you're gonna do something different. And oh my God, did they not do something different? This was this is set up to whereas you don't know who's going to live or die throughout the course of this season. Heroes that you thought were going to last, they didn't. I thought it was certain people in this show that I thought, okay, that's who we're going to follow. Oh, nope, not them. And so it's going to be this person. Nope, not them either. So it's crazy. And I love that. I love the fact that I can't predict what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know who's going to survive. That's the whole point of watching shows like this, watching movies of this caliber and so on and so forth. That's what keeps you interested in, and that's what keeps you coming back week to week. Dave, when he went in with the kids getting murdered, not murdering, but getting murdered here. Spoiler alert. Yes, there are kids that get murdered in this show. I mean, if you watched it, if you know about the story, if you read the books, kids get murdered all the time. All the movies, all whatever iteration of it you've watched or read, kids get murdered. So there's nothing new here. You get that here. But I didn't really expect the level or the amount that were taken out in one episode. It blew my mind, and I am all in, all invested. I will say that I'm impressed with these kids, the ones that they cast in this show. I don't know all their names, so I'm not going to begin to run them down, but they did an excellent job, and I guess that really made their deaths even more impactful. So I give kudos to Andy Muschietti and whoever else were in charge of casting these young actors in these roles, because I'm thinking like, okay, this is the hero of the story. No, it wasn't. No, they're not. And I love the fact that every kid here have the same or similar mannerisms or personalities as the kids that we know from the movie, and it just threw you back into that vibe, especially if you're a fan of that. And you have to be a fan if you if you dove into this show. And so yeah, it really kept that tone, but it was just a more brutal level than what we got in the film. And hey, zero complaints from me. I loved it. And then the little B plot that we got going on. Of course, we got the little reach. It's 1962, so you put black people in a predominantly white town. Yes, you're gonna have racial undertones, and they did not sugarcoat it at all there. And I appreciated it. They confronted it head on. So hey man, I'm good with that, and I want to see where that goes with this colonel who's on this military base with an all white crew who don't like him because he woke up black that morning, and that's that's gonna continue on throughout the series as well. So there's a lot going on. It's not just this supernatural element that's looming over Derry, Maine. And keep this in mind. This first episode, we haven't got a mention, a glimpse, or a silhouette of Pennywise. We haven't even gotten to that yet. And I'm already excited and happy with this show. So my excitement level is at a 10 right now, but I'm trying to temper those because I don't want it to come crashing and burning as we go along in this season, and we get the typical throwaway episode here, stupid plot line here that has nothing to nothing to do with the story, and it doesn't push the story along. I know that's a possibility to come ahead, but if we're just judging episode 1, which we are, I am super, super excited and happy and give kudos to everybody involved. But I would love to know, what are your thoughts of it? Welcome to Derry, season 1, episode 1 on HBO Max. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Are you a fan of the Stephen King material? And do you think this show is doing now? This has nothing to do with the novel. This is a separate story. It's serving as a prequel to all of that, so it doesn't really connect in that way, canon wise. This is a brand new canon. It is connected because one of the characters, I can't think of his name, the black actor in there, he plays a character that's in The Shining, the black guy that Scatman, what's his name? He passed away years ago, but the one black man in The Shining. It shouldn't even. I don't even know why I'm sitting there trying to force you to remember who it is. It's only one black man in The Shining, and that's the character that this character is based on. And so it connects to other Stephen King works as well. So it serves a bigger purpose. Man, look, I'm all in on this. I don't care. I'm all in. I am happy. I want to know, are you just as happy? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, to all of you on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel as well. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of episode 1 of HBO's It. Welcome to Derry. I don't know. I don't want to commit to doing every week just yet, but I will do once the season is over. I definitely will do a full season review, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel after every Sunday. There's a lot. Sundays are very busy for me, and so I'm gonna try, but I'm not making any promises. But just be on the lookout by subscribing to wherever you are listening to the show. I want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.